Okay, so I have something really interesting for us to take a look at today. I already told you earlier, one of the most important polls historically in primary elections is the Des Moines Register poll of Iowa voters shortly before the Iowa caucus. That poll came out a few days ago. It is shortly before the Iowa caucuses. We already analyzed the poll itself. Bernie Sanders is leading by several points. I already told you this is important. Iowa's not the be all end all. The polling could change between now and the day that Iowans go to the caucuses. But there is no question whatsoever that winning the Iowa caucus would be a huge boost of momentum for whoever wins it. And this is a really big deal for Bernie Sanders, particularly since he's a candidate that was blacked out by corporate media for a long time, ignored, made a foregone conclusion that he simply cannot win. And corporate media is in disarray over how to cover Bernie's surge and Bernie's lead in Iowa. And they are doing trapeze artistry to get around and underneath and over the reality that Bernie's just doing well and he may win the Iowa caucus and then he will be in contention for the Democratic nomination. Doesn't mean South Carolina is going to go his way. I know it's popular right away to point out why Iowa is so white. As soon as it gets to South Carolina, Bernie's screwed. Maybe. Okay, but we're talking about Iowa right now. I have examples for you from MSNBC and from CNN. Let's start with the Democratic centrist establishment channel, MSNBC, which said, headline, Iowa poll questioned by expert. That's the headline, not Bernie surges to lead in Iowa poll. It's Iowa poll questioned by expert. Here's the video associated with that story. Joy-Ann Reid interviewing Jimmy Williams to say, can we trust this poll? Yeah, I guess we can, but the poll can still change. Doing everything possible to essentially say, let's just not really believe that Bernie is truly in the lead in Iowa. Take a look.
I am perplexed by this poll for two reasons. First, either the people of Iowa are schizophrenic or they just aren't convinced. They remain skeptical.
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't think the people of Iowa are schizophrenic, although they do have two horrifying GOP senators as their senators, but that's a separate conversation for a separate day. This poll is not an outlier. This is, in fact, as Fernand said, the gold standard. This is it. When it came out last night at 7 o'clock or whatever time it came out, Eastern time, I looked at it and went, no way in hell is this right. But it has to be right because it's Des Moines, right? It's the Des Moines Register and CNN. And so, I mean, I just don't see this. I think a lot can change between now and the day of those caucuses. And these numbers, they tell me something at 30,000 feet. They tell me nothing on the ground in Des Moines or Dubuque or anywhere else. That's my takeaway from it.
So he knows he can't really say it's not accurate because this is a known, very solid poll. So it's more, well, okay, maybe we can't say it's not accurate, but this can change and we're 3 weeks out and whatever. Then in comes CNN. Remember, this is a Des Moines Register CNN joint poll. CNN's on-screen graphic chooses to say, now that Bernie is winning, the headline is no clear leader. It's so predictable. Of course, the results, Bernie 20, Warren 17, Buttigieg 16, and Biden 15. The headline, no clear leader. And, you know, it's technically sort of true. The margin of error is 3.7. Bernie is up by 3. But when it was Biden up by 3, the headlines weren't no clear leader. The headlines were Biden's winning in Iowa. When it was Buttigieg that took a lead in Iowa, the headlines were not no clear leader. It was Buttigieg surges from behind to take a lead in Iowa. So this is not, you know, an unhinged Bernie's obviously going to win and everyone's wrong and it's a conspiracy. This is yet again the different way in which corporate media will frame a poll depending on whether an establishment candidate is winning or a progressive candidate is winning. The margin of error in polls in Iowa has been between 3 and 4 for months. That's not new. So why is the margin of error now relevant for saying the headline is no clear winner when it was a different candidate, the margin of error did not play into the headlines that were chosen by corporate media? And again, I already gave these disclaimers earlier. Winning Iowa is not the be-all, end-all. You need voters that are very different from Iowa voters to win the Democratic nomination. Bernie may not have them, or he might. Iowa is not going to tell us that. It is a close poll. But if you look at the trend line of Iowa polling, you see that Bernie Sanders bottomed out in Iowa in mid to late September, and he's been up since then. While Biden is down, Buttigieg popped up, but now is back down. Warren is down from where she was. And now the headline that Bernie is winning is no clear leader, when it was always Biden ahead, Buttigieg ahead, Warren surging. So let's wait and see. This is one primary at a time. But the lesson is, don't accept corporate media's characterization of a poll. Just look at the poll yourself. Look at the trend lines yourself. Look at the polling data and the methodology yourself, and be comfortable coming up with the analysis yourself. There's too much riding on this, and it's too important to be led by these incorrect narratives and summaries of polls that someone is choosing to do. Do the work to check it out for yourself, and we will all be far better off. And that gets us now to Donald Trump realizing he may have to face Bernie Sanders in the general election. I know that the David Pakman Show audience is full of curious and creative people who love learning new things and bettering themselves. And that's why I'm so excited to tell you about one of our sponsors, Skillshare, the vibrant online learning community that offers thousands of classes on almost any topic you can imagine. And you'll get full access to the entire library of classes for 2 entire months free when you go to davidpakman.com/skill. All of the classes are taught by experts in their fields. They've got classes on drawing, painting, photography, video editing, web design, bookkeeping, marketing, personal productivity. Doesn't even scratch the surface. I recently took a class about photography. If anybody follows me on Instagram, you know that my photography skills leave much to be desired. And it was great. I got so much out of it. And hopefully you will see the fruits of me taking that class reflected in my Instagram pictures sooner than later. They have classes for every skill level, whether you're wanting to get better at something you already have experience with, you want to learn something totally new to you. You set your own pace. Classes are usually less than an hour long. They're divided up into bite-sized segments so you can easily fit them into your schedule. Make 2020 a year where you explore new skills, deepen existing passions, get lost in creativity. Skillshare really makes it easier than ever. Skillshare memberships are less than $10 a month, and that gives you access to the thousands of classes they offer. But everybody in the David Pakman Show audience gets a Skillshare membership totally free for 2 whole months. Just go to davidpakman.com/skill. That's davidpakman.com/SKILL.